Disclaimer: the following program features language not suitable for all audiences, and the expressed opinions found within this program are a reflection of those who feature on the PopCulture Effect podcast. Welcome to the PopCulture Effect. I'm Rockin Rob, and on this show I bring my closest friends together to talk about all of the news happening in our pop culture world around us. Today we are joined by Blaze.
Hello.
Gemini.
Hello.
Menace.
Hello.
We have Subset.
Heyo.
You know, I'm just so happy to finally have my best friend. Dude, I'm trying to compliment. I'm saying it's so fun to finally have my best friend on the podcast, you know? It's been a long time coming.
Everybody's
Sounds
here.
like you're just trying to flex.
I'm not trying to...
Damn, didn't think you'd be playing Kiss Ass so much.
Hey man, I come from a business...
I'm just his favorite, guys.
Where
Come
you
on,
have to suck ass sometimes. You gotta get right up in
Unfortunately,
there.
I'm his favorite, guys, so...
I mean,
yeah.
I'd
That is an
assume
unfortunate
I
thing.
assume you'd be his because me and Menace both want to take the podcast from him.
Yeah, and then Trin's just the one in the background making doodling and drawings.
No,
Yeah.
Trin is Switzerland right now.
It's like a civil war going on. Yeah, I guess though there's no better way than to just start us off. Activision's AI patent that they recently got passed, which is going to allow them to create higher quality NPCs, which means that they can integrate player data to either make them more conversable, make them more interactive, and just expand what a normal NPC would be, whether that be like the language that they use in interacting with you, or the engagement that they have with the player, or with the overall difficulty of the NPC. And I feel like this is cool, but I feel like this is also a slippery slope where this is where it could start, but then AI could just take over the entirety of gaming. So like they would have AI generated gun sounds, so that way the people who collect the sound effects and get paid doing that will be out of a job, you know? Like that's my worry, at least, with this like patent.
Yeah, that's always like everybody's worry, but it all depends on how they go. And everything that's always come up with AI has always flopped, I guess you could say. I'm always on the fence when it comes to the AI stuff, because it would depend on if they make their own AI to do this or not, essentially.
Exactly, there's so many different
If they're just using a
avenues.
generalized one, or...
Exactly, like there's so many different
Or not.
avenues and lengths that this can have effect on. So like, you know, there was that episode of South Park that was partially written with AI to help solve the issue, the overarching issue of the episode. And there are other YouTubers like Your Favorite Martian and another YouTuber that I can't remember. I think it's like Foul Saber. I don't know if that's the real name, but he does animations where he uses AI generated voices, and Your Favorite Martian is doing an AI generated music video. So it's like these elements can fit within our I just don't want it to go too far where it actually affects people's jobs. You know what I mean?
I mean, good for you to say that. To point
That
out
would be
Disney's own AI that they use specifically for the intro for like.
Oh, well, that was an AI art program that they used.
Yeah, but look,
That
again,
they-
you
that
can
they
implement it for
made or
one
used.
show, and then you can see it happening in other shows.
And then eventually AI will take over everything, so nothing we will see will be original.
AI
one
will
thing
take
can be
over this
successful, one thing
podcast.
can be poor.
Hey, come on, man.
An AI can never really get anything perfect, at least from what I've seen. Like, it's a generalization of data, so if that data gets messed up in any way, you're gonna get bad results from it if you're not putting in specific data that you want.
Kind of
To
like
where
how Matt
human-
figured the way that they're
Yes,
do the
yes,
security
exactly
breach.
like that, honestly. But like, it's like you said, if you're putting in bad data, you're gonna get bad results. But to where you could tell a person like, hey, I want this drawing and this, I want this drawing, which is gonna transition into this look and to this look, and they can draw each of those sections out exactly how you described it.
Yeah, because
where
there's
if
a
the
human
data is off
element.
for an AI, yeah.
Exactly. I feel
But if it's
like with AI there
If it's
should
an
always
AI
be.
element, they're not gonna get that.
I feel like with AI there should always be a human element, so that way there's a little bit of a grounded sense of reality. So that because I feel like AI loose is just too adaptable, I guess is the best word to use. Because, like you said, if it's just free to roam the internet, I'd say more than half of the internet.
I'm not talking Skynet levels here.
I know. I'm just saying,
Big companies they want to just have like an AI where they can just shove all their money in and not really pay like actual people for it.
But you know what? That's the
Like,
dystopian
it's always
futures
a
we don't like
big
to talk
government.
about. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting play by Activision. It's a smart play to get ahead of everybody else, because this is going to be something that's going to be be woven into pretty much every aspect of video games going forward, I could assume.
Actually, staying on the AI thing for a second, I think that this AI patent may actually push, because I know everybody's scared of like AIs taking artists' jobs and taking voice actors' jobs, stuff like that. I believe that this may actually start pushing countries and other places to start updating their laws on stuff like this, because we have laws that about like copyright and stuff like that have been the same for
It's archaic.
decades, centuries even.
It's like there's
Yeah.
so many new technologies that make those, it makes them useless because they don't apply to how the world is now.
Exactly. So I think that hopefully this will actually like push us to start updating those.
Right? I don't know. I feel like it could be something that we see very soon, at least with their AI patent being greenlit now. Like they may even introduce this into the next Call of Duty, which could be very soon, as Modern Warfare 3 just had their release trailer announced. So Menace, why don't you take us through that?
Well, you say very soon, but it's literally later this year. It's gonna drop November 10th.
What? It's dropping this year?
And yes, it's Call of Duty 2023. So the whole taking a year off for Call of Duty, having Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 be a 2-year cycle, they went back on that. They said no. They said
I thought Modern Warfare 3 was gonna come out like early 2024 or something.
nope, November 10th.
What? So another rushed, half-baked Call of Duty.
Could be, or it could literally be. I'll get into that. First, I wanted to say the trailers look cool. We're going up against Makarov finally, which I feel like we should have just done an MW2 to keep the stories somewhat similar.
Yes, right.
But I know they wanted to introduce Shadow Company and introduce a whole nother aspect of how Shepard is kind of corrupt and everything. But we're finally going up against Makarov, which is one of the biggest bads in Call of Duty history, if not the biggest, depending on who you ask. Going up against him, and the trailer actually shows him like in the prison, and he's getting brought down, and you see him. So I'm wondering if that's gonna play to like he's either in there and that's actually in the story, and you see him and he breaks out later, or it's like at the beginning and then he breaks out and you got to go and find him, stuff like that. I am interested to see, but I was actually told by Blaze earlier today, and I looked into this. There is a possibility that Modern Warfare 3 could be its own game, or it could just be a DLC slapped on top of Modern Warfare 2.
Are you serious?
How quickly this is coming out, honestly, I feel like it's that latter of it. Where I was talking about it, it's just gonna be the campaign of 3 slapped on 2.
So it may not be that, only because there was this leak intentionally put out by Call of Duty themselves where they posted a poll on Twitter saying, would it be a good idea to put the operators, weapons, and weapon bundles to carry over into Call of Duty 2023? Everybody, and the two answers were yes and yes wins the reveal.
What? That's not a poll. That's not.
There wasn't a no option at all.
That's not how you run a poll.
So
disgusting, honestly.
Not only that, but people were angry about Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 because you spent like hundreds of dollars on these weapon bundles, and it was practically the same game multiplayer wise, and you weren't able to have your stuff transferred like over. So then bringing it into this, saying that it's not only the bundles, like the skin packs and everything, it's not only the same operators, but the weapons. If they brought over the same weapons, they wouldn't be able to change the damage scaling. They wouldn't be able to change like the stats for the weapons, stuff like that. If all that was to transfer over with the weapon skins and bundles, you would have to have the same stats, the same guns, the same time to kill values. Everything from Modern Warfare 2 would have to be transferred over, and it would technically just be the same game. That's why I do kind of agree with Blaze that it'll just, even if it is a new game, it'll be the same shit with a 3 on it.
Same shit, different asshole.
If that's the case, they should not make it a full retail price game for $60 or $70. If that's the case, it should be like 40 at most.
No,
if it's just the campaign that's new.
Oh, it's gonna be a fully priced game because it's gonna be a whole new story, air quotations.
Great, I'm gonna pay $70 to play a campaign that's gonna take me like 10 to 15 hours to beat.
And I
You play
also
the same
heard,
multiplayer, you can have the same experience on this old one.
but I also heard that this Modern Warfare 3 is going to have campaign multiplayer, and for the first time in I know for whoever is going to leave that comment, I know that Infinite Warfare was made by the same creators as Modern Warfare, but this is going to be the first Modern Warfare game. This is going to be the first Modern Warfare game, Modern Warfare, to get their own version of Call of Duty Zombies.
See, people were saying that there was a leak in the trailer. I didn't see anything in the trailer that was relating to this. It was like a 30-second trailer and all red lines going across and breaking down and stuff. And then at the end you saw Makarov's face in the back.
It's more so been just online leaks. Like there have been talks for months about how they're gonna have like a half-baked Outbreak mode. There's not gonna be round-based, but yeah,
I'm not sure about it, because if it is going to be like how they've been saying, like with them adding the same guns and stuff, and if it is just a slap-on of the new campaign, I don't know if they'll be able to add an entire new mode to that.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see in November. But speaking of zombies, Subset, you had the opportunity to watch the recent Resident Evil Death Island movie, and I am very eager to hear your thoughts about it.
Well, you're not going to hear it, 'cause I'm not going to talk about it.
All right. That's staying
But
in.
yes, the movie came out last week during the weekend, which caught me by surprise a bit, because I'm gonna be honest, I lost the date when it was supposed to come out. But these series of movies have been coming out occasionally, I should say. This one was been into talks for months before it actually came out, and there was not really a lot to work with, just like a trailer and a little snippet, if I remember, until we got closer to the release date. This one, they have 4 of the VAs coming back to reprise their roles. That's Leon, Claire, Chris, and Rebecca.
Oh, hell yeah, Leon Skebbies.
Yep. Matt Mercer from Re6.
Ew.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Matt Mercer did Leon in Resident Evil 6, and so he's doing him again in this movie.
It's a shame he voiced him in the one that, tragically didn't make it past
it's fine.
the studio board.
He's redeeming himself. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And I don't think it's the same Jill from like the older Jill is the Jill from the remake, because they're using her new design from the remake in this movie. But everything else that happened up to this point is still canon. And the movie itself, may I add, referenced 2 games within the runtime.
It's all canon.
One's in like near the beginning and another like somewhere near the middle. What happened to Jill during Resident Evil 5 where she got brainwashed by Wesker, that's fact. That's still prevalent in this, even though she doesn't look anything like what happened from 5, but that's besides the point.
So this is a sequel after 5?
Well, this is a sequel to all the games. I think a little bit before, yeah. And all the films are canon to what the games is going on. These are like stories within, like between games or after the game that's been going on.
Interesting.
It's kind of like how the old Resi comic books did, but movie adaptation version.
Yeah. Though this one specifically got a little bit more grounded compared to Vendetta. Vendetta was the last one and was a bit, in my opinion, out of touch, because some scenes, Leon, Chris basically did not give a about civilians. AKA the one scene where Leon is on his bike trying to escape 3 zombie dogs, aka Cerberus. While he was running away from them, he shot signs in the highway, because they were on the highway, one of which landed on a dog, then landed on a car, and then proceeded to, if I remember, shoot a tire of a car for that car to smack into one of them, and it hit an oil tanker and big boom. And I'm just sitting here, what about the normal people driving the car?
Leon just killed like 10 people trying to save his ass.
In the same scene, well, not in the same scene, later on in the movie, Chris and Leon were in the skyscraper where the big bad is all the way to the top, and they were in this long hallway where zombies are. And in this movie, it's a gas virus from stretching, it's called this, I think, stretching away from like the C virus from like Resident Evil 6. It was an airborne virus that got released within the city. Everybody turned, and throughout the runtime, we found out we can cure them. So Leon and Chris basically did this John Wick-esque scene, killed all the zombies, and then in the end of the movie, released the cure, the vaccine, released it in the air, and everybody who was turned back to normal. And I'm just sitting here.
Genocided like 100 people.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here. What about the people who just turned back to normal and probably killed people. Because if I remember, during this infection, they were still there. They were just along there for the ride. They were still able to see and know what was going on. They were along with the ride. They had no control of their bodies.
Oh, that's tragic.
So Vendetta was a bit, bombastic in its movies and shit. The movie before that, Dedamination, was a little bit more grounded compared to that, but that one was tied with Las Plagas, so it doesn't really count here. But for Death Island, they really decided to be a bit more, all right, let's calm down with all the movie hijinks and whatnot, kind of, sort of. Let's save the best parts for, like, the best parts. Now, the voice actors for each characters they did a good job, I think. I enjoyed them. I specifically enjoyed when they were referencing, like, the old games, or when certain characters are talking to each other, because this film is, like, the first one that showed a good chunk of cast from all the games. We got Chris, we got Rebecca, we got Claire, Jill, Leon, all in the same movie and usually in the same screen.
Avengers, assemble!
And they're not, oh yeah, these people are here too, but they're on the other side of the city being chased by some other monster, and they never even meet each other.
Actually, it's not really getting chased down by another monster compared to, like, the last two movies that they did.
Well, I was saying more like in the games you got like.
Oh yeah.
With, like,
I was saying in the games you got two groups of two on either side of wherever you are, and they never even like intersect or meet each other, except for maybe like at the end where they're like, oh yeah, we finally beat the big bad.
Even though throughout, like, all the movies, all the games, like comics or whatever mediums, they know, every single of these characters know each other. We've just never seen them talk to one another or interact with one another on the same screen once. And when I bring that up, this is the first on-screen appearance of Jill after, like, so long, and this is also the first meeting between Jill and Leon on the same screen. And the first time you see them on the same screen, when they talk to each other, it felt like, it holds up to the lore of them knowing each other, because they're both comfortable with one another. They just talk normally, even though, they're getting chased by aquatic lickers.
In the comics and stuff that are canon, they have met before. They have all been together before, like in the comics. They haven't
been on the same screen. All that. For the cinema and the brand, this is history being made right here. Specifically Jill, since we haven't seen Jill in any re-games for a while now.
I was gonna say, her last appearance was 5, right?
Yeah, in 5.
And she just kind of off at the end of the game. We never know what happened to her.
Yeah, it's nice that you said they brought Rebecca in it, right?
They brought Rebecca. Unfortunately, I'm a little upset. Rebecca didn't have a lot of screen time compared to the others.
She was kind of a more minor character. I know, Resident Evil 0, she was one of the main ones next to Billy, Billy. But anyway, Billy Cohen. But, minus that, she kind of was like a bit of a side character in like the other titles where she appeared. Or wait, no. Wasn't she in one of the Revelation games?
If I remember.
She was. She worked for the same company that captured them.
Okay, yeah. I just
for Revelations.
I was gonna say, I only ever played the one where you played as Barry and Claire. I don't remember which one that was.
That's in Revelations 1.
Yeah.
Revelations 2 is with following Claire.
Okay, yeah. Because I thought but regardless, she was still always regarded more as like a minor character in the end. Even though she has been playable in a few, she always was kind of regarded as a minor character in comparison to the big names like Claire, Leon, Chris, and Jill.
I'm not too mad in a way, because her role throughout the whole movie, she's the scientist. It was explained in Vendetta. She's a scientist working on all these infestations and infections and whatnot, and the viruses. She's the one figuring them out, finding vaccines on her own, and she's capable. Throughout like the lore for her, she's capable. Yeah. And this one, she's even more capable because she was able to figure out the vaccine on her own.
Well, that's good. Because she was.
From what I remember of the lore.
No, I was just gonna say, like, she started out like as just a green, fresh-faced like combat medic. So it's nice to see her character mature and grow. And becoming more intelligent.
From what I remember of the lore, after the whole event with Resident Evil 0, she quit STARS and went into the medical field and joined whatever the company was that owned the island for Revelations. And they were supposed supposed to look into more cures for the different viruses that we're going.
Look, man, all I'm just waiting for is some Silent Hill stuff. Us Resident Evil fans have been eating too good. Where's the Silent Hill shit? I know that's off topic, but
I mean, we
damn it.
are getting a remake of Silent Hill 2 here soon.
I know, and I'm excited, but I'm nervous because of who's making the game, and they're changing some things, and that's just that's something I want to talk about in the future when it's released, because they don't even have like a date yet as to when it's coming out. They just have it on Steam like, wapow, Silent Hill 2 by Bloober Team, and I'm like, oh no, Bloober Team. Oh no.
Gremlin alert.
That's fine.
But yeah, I'm glad to hear,
You're
Angel, that
surprised.
you were able to enjoy the film, and that it really kind of encapsulated a lot of what a lot of people enjoy from the Resident Evil franchise.
When you say enjoy, here's one thing I need to make clear. The movie, it's good. As a re-movie, not so good.
Yeah, if you've ever been a part of the Resident Evil fan base community for a while, the movies tend to be kind of in comparison to the games.
Now, if you don't
All
think,
over the
if you
place.
don't look into it or question like certain things throughout the movie too much, it's an enjoyable watch. But if you're a re-fan, it's kind of difficult because you're gonna actually look into it. You're gonna see what it makes, what connects to what, and blah 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 blah. And there is like a callback to another character, like one of the villains from Vendetta that does a reappearance in this one. I will say the villains for this one was kind of meh, and the reasoning why they were doing what they were doing was pretty meh. Though I did enjoy the combat scenes involving like everybody, because throughout the movies they had pretty decent
Choreography.
Thank you. Yeah, with like doing like close to close combat with guns and against the zombies. It was really apparent in Vendetta with that one scene, but with this one they made it more not as John Wick in actual, yo, we've been doing this for a while, let's actually take this seriously. And it was really refreshing to see Chris and Claire working together, dealing with all of this along with Jill. And when you do see like normal scenes with everybody just talking about, it felt nice. It felt really nice to see. And then throughout this one, Jill is still going through with some PTSD thing going on, you know, because apparently she just got back onto the force working cases ever since the whole Wesker mind control incident.
That's actually really cool that they're still dealing with the stuff that happened with Jill from 5, because it would have been dumb as hell if they just acted like that never happened but still make it canon. I love it when they actually continue on it and deal with the aftermath trauma of their experiences from something like that happening.
Yeah.
Resident Evil's
And-
usually been good with giving their characters trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Perez is doing a good job trying to be like a mediator for her to be comfortable, because at this point, he's being a life coach for a lot of people because he's been through a lot.
I mean,
One thing
he probably did go to f***ing, rehab for his roid addiction.
Oh, yeah, Miss Boulder Puncher himself. Oh, yeah. One thing I will say that I actually started to, gush over as a fan is when Jill and Leon were talking throughout their whole interaction, their first interaction ever. And it was really fun to see them work together, talk with one another while all that was going, when you're dealing with like zombies and liquors, stuff like that. At least with them, I felt like it actually felt genuine. It didn't feel like slapped on, rushed up, stuff like that.
Very well weighted.
Yeah, exactly. I will still say Rebecca should have gotten like a little bit more screen time, because she popped up like in very few scenes and interact with the other cast like minimally until like the end when she does pop up.
It wasn't her whole thing that like after everything happened, she didn't want the front lines and
Oh yeah,
she
because
wanted
she
to
went
kinda,
straight
like,
into
be in the background and
yeah, she wanted to research more bioweapons, so more things that happen on the train doesn't happen again. Like actually find cures, break them down,
Yeah.
because obviously a lot of these scientists either die or refuse to help. So
Yeah, it happens.
but if you guys, anybody has any time, I recommend, sitting down and give the movie a watch. It's an actual enjoyment. And if you're curious, this is like the 4th animated movie since the first one that came out around the 2000s. And the improvement in animation they did for all of this, you're gonna see it change a lot, specifically with the first one and the second one immediately. Just a stark difference, and soon after that, they just elevated that fact. And the animation was nice. It was nice. It wasn't an eyesore. It wasn't too everywhere. It was simple.
Imagine if they would have put all the money that they put into the live action Resident animated, and how much better they could be.
That's why I'm glad that they're not, and I just wish they continue to do more animated stuff. It's gonna be way easier to do.
But yeah, you know,
shut up. No, I'm keep talking.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm the host here.
Go ahead.
which I'm hoping we see something
captain now.
more. If you've seen like Netflix's show for Resident Evil, like Cover of Darkness, something like that. Like it was like a 4 to 5 episode series.
Action one they did.
Shush. That one was like a little in between of before 6 and between 5 when it was going on. And I still have not heard anything else like that show, even though they talked about it a lot when it was first being made. So I hope to see even more work of like shows or like movies like this for Resident Evil, because yeah, we got games and remakes, but we do want more content dealing with the present.
That's fair. But speaking with content that is in the present, Blaze, there was just recently a Pokemon Presents that was talking about all the new stuff that's going to be coming. So why don't you give us a little bit of an insight about what you were able to take away?
I think little is an understatement because there was a lot in this Pokemon present. So I'm just going to kind of spitball the quick and easy ones before I talk about the big ones. Some of the quick easy ones to go talk about, the 2023 Pokemon World Championship is coming up, and they just announced what some of the competitors are going to get as a basically just reward for being a part of the competition. They'll be getting a promo card called Paradise Resort with Lapis and a bunch of the new starters from Paldea, like on top of Lapis as they're going through the like Pokemon theme park on the cruise ship, along with getting a Pikachu plush of Pikachu holding a bowl of ramen ready to eat it.
That's cute.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice. We also got a trailer for the Pokemon Horizons show, which is going to be the continuation after Ash has left for the main Pokemon series.
Not my Pokemon.
Hashtag not my Pokemon.
The man's
Pokemon
like 40 going on 13. He's got to retire.
Never. Pokemon Go Fest is coming up soon. In America, it's going to be in New York from August 18th to the 20th. But they're also going to be doing a Pokemon Go Fest Global, which is going to be one where you can play it at home as long as you buy the ticket for it, from August 26th to the 27th. And also Paldea region Pokemon are going to be in Pokemon Go in September, so that's something to be looking forward to if you've been thinking on getting back onto Pokemon Go with the new region of Pokemon.
I have all of my Pokemon saved onto 3DS cartridges. Thank you very much.
But next one, Pokemon Unite is about to celebrate its 2nd anniversary, adding in a new mode called Panic Parade, along with adding Mewtwo into the game. And
alcoholic drinks.
And if you log in and use the code 2nd anniversary, you will also get a bunch of Mew and Mewtwo themed little trinket items.
Ooh, nice.
And on another mobile game too, Pokemon Masters EX is about to get another story event and bringing in Nimona and Palmot from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet into the game as well to do specific story missions with that character, which is neat to start seeing some Scarlet and Violet stuff into a lot of the mobile games.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel like a lot of the mobile games have been playing catch up with a lot of the generations that have gone by, and I'm glad to hear that they're finally starting to catch up with the current day stuff.
Yeah, Nimona's already in it, and then August 16th they're also adding Victor and Spectrier, I think that's the name of it, into the sync pair of the game as well, which for those of you who don't know, Victor is the male character for Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Which is crazy. I think this is the first time we've ever seen like a main character, quote unquote main character of a Pokemon game be seen outside of it. Because usually they just take it from like the anime or the supporting cast aside from your player characters. So it's interesting to see that we finally get a player character in one of these side games.
Also, I also think it's interesting that of how they named him too, because all the past Pokemon games were they usually just named them after the title of the Pokemon game. So it's interesting
They
that
didn't name
they
him, like,
gave him
Violet.
an actual name
Yeah.
with Sword and Shield, because it's kind of weird to name a character Sword or Shield.
Well, you could call somebody maybe not
it could be-
Rapier,
it could
but
be-
like there's other sword names you could use.
Well, they could be calling him Victor because he's the victor of the game or some stuff like that.
You know what? Okay, I know Blaze told me it before, but Menace, the door is over there.
That wasn't meant to be a pun. That was like an actual thing.
Oh.
You don't have Pokemon.
You are the victor. You are the victor of that region. Wouldn't calling him Victor be a good name for him?
I mean,
No, he's got a
He's
point.
Victor the region. Like, come
That's
on.
But moving on to the next mobile game, Pokemon Cafe Remix is going to be adding the Tatsugiri fish Pokemon into the cafe, along with, if you log in, you also get a Summer Fun Jigglypuff outfit for the game as well.
ooh.
That's cute.
But going on to some of the bigger stuff that's been announced, another one of the shows, there's 2 other Pokemon media shows that are coming out. Both of these, I believe, are going to be both online stuff. You have Pokemon Paldean Winds, which is going to be a online web series that follows more into just the story of Scarlet and Violet than with how Horizons is doing. As you follow a small group of students in the Paldean Academy and going about their adventures, presumably following most of the same events that happened in the game itself. But the other show that's going to be an online one as well, which the first episode just came out today, which is about 10 minutes long. I don't know exactly how many episodes it's going to have, but it's going to be a bit of a short series where it's called Pokemon Path to the Peak. And this is an interesting take on Pokemon because you're not in the Pokemon world. It's an animated series in the real world of people in a club together playing the Pokemon card game.
That gives me
I
real
see.
That gives me real beat 'em on flashbacks.
Yeah, it has kind of a Yu-Gi-Oh feel to it. The Pokemon don't come to
Bakugan
life.
flashbacks. You mean?
No,
Yeah.
beat 'em on, because at least Bakugan turned into actual monsters. Beat 'em on, you just infuse the heart of the imagination.
I don't
of a
even
child.
remember there being a beat 'em on.
Yeah,
show.
they were like
I don't
little
either.
they were like little figures that shot out marbles.
Beads, not Marvel.
I know what they are. I just don't remember there being a show for them.
Oh yeah, there was
no,
an
there
anime
a show.
for it,
It was pretty
100%.
popular.
Must have flew
Okay.
under my weeb radar.
You
But anyway,
American.
Path to
Must
the
have been a
Peak.
Canadian thing.
I already watched the first episode before the podcast started, and it's pretty good. Definitely centered more towards the younger audience, wanting to get them into the Pokemon card game. But it's still a pretty good show. I think it's gonna do well. It's on YouTube if anyone wants to watch the first episode. But also talking about the card game, for the Switch Online, they just added the Pokemon card game for the Game Boy onto the Switch, along with Pokemon Stadium 2 for the 64 onto the Switch.
Right? I'm super excited for that.
Sounds lame.
Probably still won't buy the online pass, but you're getting there, Nintendo. You'll eventually get my subscription.
I'm borrowing the family pass from a friend of mine, so I don't even have to pay for it.
Nice.
But don't say that. They're gonna crack down on it like everybody else.
Right? Oh man.
It's
Like
fine.
Disney Plus following Netflix's trend of cracking down on password sharing. Yeah,
That's another dumpster fire to get in at another
I was
time.
able to fit it in. Let's go. I know that there was a couple other big announcements for the direct. So Blaze, tell us more about the bigger scale projects they have going on.
Yeah, the last 3 is Detective Pikachu Returns, the sequel to Detective Pikachu on the 3DS. Is coming to the Switch, and it will be out October 6th, continuing the story of Tim and Detective Pikachu solving mysteries in their city and still trying to figure out what happened to Pikachu's trainer and Tim's father.
Ash just retired, dude. Just get over it.
No, he is the Pikachu. Come on.
Oh,
it's-
spoilers, mate.
We should say this is a continuation of the game Detective Pikachu and not the movie.
Yeah, this is a continuation of the game on the 3DS. The movie is its own thing, but followed fairly true to the original source material with the first game. But the sequel is gonna have you playing between Tim and Pikachu as you talk between humans and Pokemon to solve cases that can hopefully lead to Tim finding his father.
Well, hopefully he finally finds where his dad went to go get milk.
Oh dear God. But going to the last two parts of the present, going back into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, there is a event coming up soon. Technically has already started, but they're doing a Mew and Mewtwo event where starting last week and going into, believe the last day to do this is September 17th. If you get on to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and do the mystery code Get Your Mew, you will be given a Mew with a random Terra type. And this Mew, if you power it up and get it ready for a raid that's going to be coming out starting September 1st to September 17th, the raid event is going to be a 7-star Mewtwo raid. And apparently, if you use that Mew you got from the mystery gift in the raid, something special will happen when you go to fight Mewtwo.
I mean, cards on the table, it's probably just going to be a short 5-second cutscene. Like, let's be real.
Probably. But it would still be interesting.
A gun.
And
imagine if it's a reference to the first Pokemon movie.
But
It's just Mew floating there. Mewtwo going, oh, it's so cute. Pulls out gun. Oh shit, he's packing heat.
Oh my
Oh
god.
shit, it's got a gun.
the Mewtwo will have the Mightiest Mark with him as well, which will be an interesting item to have once you get the Mewtwo. Just towards the end of the event, we will also be getting the first DLC for the 2-part DLC of the Hidden Treasures of Arizio, the first part being Teal Mask and the second part being Indio Disc. We got a trailer showing off both of the DLCs a bit more, with the first one announcing to be coming out on September 13th and the second part coming out in winter of 2023.
See, the one thing that really bothers me about the way that they're presenting their DLC in the trailer, why would, like, they have Scarlet and Violet clearly on screen, but why would they have a duplicate of the logo? Like the DLC is going to be the same across both games. Like, why would you have two logos of the DLC under each logo of the game? That just didn't make sense to me.
Well, how it is
like-
you pay. How the DLC works is it's $35 as a bundle for both of them, and they're just splitting it off into part 1 of the DLC and part 2 of it coming out at later dates.
Ah, I see.
But also make sure you buy the correct one when you get it, when you do buy the DLC, because there's the version for Scarlet and the version for Violet, and if you accidentally buy the one for the other one you don't have, the DLC won't work.
That's evil. It's literally the same content. What?
Yeah, be careful of that, because there has been many people that have accidentally bought the DLC for the other version and were not able to use it for when this case happened with Sword and Shield. But anyway,
Yeah, I was hearing about that with Sword and Shield.
yeah, the DLC for Teal Mask, though, the first part of it, showed off we're getting a new evolution of Applin, where it's literally just Applin as a candied apple dragon now, which I think is kind of funny.
That's weird. I mean, we do already have a vanilla cone. We might as well get a candied apple.
Meh.
And also going into the lands of Kitikami, I believe that's how he pronounced it. And there's going to be 3 heroic Pokemon that you're going to be helping out called Okidoki, Monkidori, and Pheasantipity. These Pokemon names are getting so out of hand on how to pronounce. It's ridiculous.
Hey man, like
Bippity boppity.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo. I think it's just time, you know. They've made so many games, you know, like when, especially when they made Sword and Shield. Like, how are you gonna make? Well, like, what's the legendary gonna be? Oh, a dog holding a shield and a sword. It's like, what?
Fine, man. It's
I
fine.
don't know. I
It's
kind of like
content.
Okidoki as a name.
I mean, I also like Okidoki as a name, but that still doesn't stand with the fact that there's just, they need to take a break from Pokemon. Honestly, they need to take a good long break.
It can't.
Ever
It's
since
like
Rubbish,
COD.
I think they needed to stop.
They just need
Rubbish.
to stop.
What do you mean, rubbish? He's the best Pokemon named ever. Dude, come on.
But yeah, with all the
What
with all
about
the-
Lechonk?
Yeah, because
What
you're
about
the same
Lechonk?
as it.
With-
What about Lechonk?
With-
Come on.
With all the crazy Pokemon news, what I'm most looking forward to is the potential next Pokemon Legends series. But to be honest, with all these new games coming to the Switch, I really feel like there should be an upgraded Switch coming out. And conveniently enough, Gemini, you've been looking into the potential of there actually being an upgraded Nintendo console coming out. So why don't you tell us about that?
Robbie, your
Yes.
segues, I swear to God.
Dude, my segues are the best part about this. That's what people tune into. My segues, okay?
I don't like your segue.
Oh my god.
My segues are the best. I have the best
Already
segues.
getting.
I like to think that they tune in for the Resident Goblin anyway. So they don't have a definitive name, but in the second half of next year, Nintendo is going to try to roll out a next generation console. The name so far that they have is Switch 2.
It's called the
so
Switch
original,
Plus.
I know, but it is they've been keeping it kind of hush hush, understandable considering, you know, they're probably still figuring it out and everything, but what they have been willing to release about it is that it will be a portable device just like the Switch and will support cartridge-based games. The system will reportedly feature an LCD screen, not an OLED screen, which aligns with reports that something about LCD screens being a new gate for a new gaming console. I don't know.
Yeah, but then they could release the Switch 2 OLED version and make
Faster
even more
refresh
money.
rate, maybe?
Yeah, it's possible that when this will release, some of it's maybe like release games that might come with, because in this article it says something about a Princess Peach game and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which are slated for 2024. So depending on when they release, it is possible that these could be kind of like the Switch 2's release titles in a sense. Again, they don't really have much, but the president of Nintendo, Shintaro Furukawa, I'm very sorry if I butchered that. I probably did because I'm a filthy American. Anyway, as for the transition from Nintendo Switch to the next generation machine, we want to do as much as possible in order to smoothly transition our customers while utilizing the Nintendo account. So it's probably going to have something similar with a lot of like, you know, PlayStation and Xbox, where it is kind of like a smooth transition to move your account from, you know, the old Xbox One to probably, what is it, the Series S, XYZ, I don't know, or like
Yes.
PS4 to PS5, PS3 to PS4, you know. Nintendo is in the somewhat unenviable position of repeating its success with the Switch because, you know, the Switch has been out for a while, so sales are probably slowly dwindling with the console being out for since 2017, and that the Switch 2, I guess, will have a backwards compatibility, as with digital purchases being, you know, a very big thing with the Switch, and they said it would probably be extremely crucial for the Switch 2 to have backwards compatibility. It would be extremely stupid if they didn't.
They probably learned their lesson with the Wii U, because the Wii was backwards compatible. But one thing that would have saved the Wii U is if they added a DS 3DS slot onto it, because then you could have DS top screen on the TV and the bottom, the gamepad is the touch screen.
That's genius. That would have saved their entire. Well, I shouldn't say that.
It would have given the Wii U about another 5 years of life, and it would have let you be able to play their DS, 3DS games on a TV. Because Nintendo has always been about that with the GameCube, the Super Nintendo. They were always giving them functions or add-ons that could let you play their handheld games on TV.
Yeah, and as for when they will release more information, they haven't stated. If anything, they're probably going to wait until next year to even release more information about the Switch 2.
It'll probably be for like the ending announcement of a Nintendo Direct, let's be honest.
Yeah, because it says that's almost like, when will Nintendo reveal more about its next gen console? It's almost impossible to say, but after events like September's Tokyo Game Show, the company may begin talking more about the system. It's possible, though, that Nintendo may not say anything until 2024 in an attempt to maintain Switch hardware sales. Understandable. If people find out that there's going to be a new console from Nintendo, people are going to hold off on buying a Switch and they'll just say, F it, I'm just going to wait for the new Switch. Why would I bother wasting my money now getting a Switch when next year it's going to be obsolete or pretty close to being obsolete? Like, you know, I get that. They want to try and squeeze as much money out as possible, which that's a company thing. That's a corporate thing.
Yeah.
Here we are revealing that it's coming out.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's you know, there's been whispers, and we're just like, you know, we're just adding to the whispers, I guess, if you want to say.
Adding to the whispers.
Making the whisper more of a mumble.
I mean, I'm excited for it. I know for a fact that when I'm going to buy the new Switch, and then I'm going to then give my old Switch to my nephew. Actually, no, why would I do that? That's the one thing that I hate, is like, what about the people that have a Nintendo Nintendo Switch. But like, are they going to be able to transfer their accounts over to a new Switch to transfer over their games, or
More unlikely. That's
I
what
hope
it seems like they're
so.
trying to do.
They said-
Well, no. Did you not hear what I said? They want to try and we want to do as much as possible in order to smoothly transition our customers while utilizing the Nintendo account. So more than likely, yeah, it's going to be, they're probably trying to switch more into how other consoles do when they upgrade from, like I said, PS4 to PS5 or Xbox One to Xbox
oh,
XYZ.
right. I see.
It's like, they're probably going to have that where you'll be able to transfer your account data, especially because, as they stated, digital sales have increased with the Switch. I mean, a lot, like some of the games that I have for my Switch, well, Switch Lite, I'm pretty sure the Pokemon game I have is a digital copy of it, because I didn't feel the need to go out and buy it. And also, I think at the time I was recovering from surgery, so, I couldn't go out and buy it, and
Right.
I was bored as hell. I didn't even end up completing the games.
Aw.
And then all your money went to Tom Nook.
I didn't buy I don't like Animal Crossing.
Was there any expected release for when they'd actually be able to get the console out?
No, they just said late 2024, so that could be anywhere from
Between
fall to like
Christmas or like
more-
even early 2025.
Yeah, well, they just said late 2024. So, like I said, that could be at the soonest mid-fall, at the latest near the end of the year is like a Christmas release. It's hard. That's the most information they're willing to give out right now. It's possible they might not even have all of they might still be building prototypes or polishing prototypes of this console. So that's probably why they haven't released information of a solid, even release branch of Q3, Q4. They just say late 2024.
I think it might even be better for them to release it in December, like at the end of the fiscal year, so that way the next turnover for the next fiscal year for 2025, they can start actually pumping out stuff for the new Switch and getting there.
It sounds like it might be more of a Christmas end of the year release.
Well, I mean, I'm
Because-
excited for it.
Because that is pretty much like a prime time for,
Oh, yeah. Black Friday?
console releases.
You know how many people
Yeah.
will get injured for a Switch Pro on Black Friday? You
And
kidding
who's
me?
to know when it might even have an it's possible they could release it sooner in Japan, and then across the seas they might release it a little bit later. I don't know if they've done that before with their consoles. Have they?
They have done it with games. Like a lot of their games have to be localized in the
Yeah.
rest of the world. But I've never heard about it with a console. But it could
Okay,
happen.
so maybe, yeah. They could, but if they haven't done it before, then yeah, they'll probably take into account that across at least a majority of the world, the end of the year, December, is a pretty big holiday time. I know Black Friday is kind of more celebrated over here in North America. I didn't know it was celebrated. It was not celebrated, but it was observed in Canada. I'm gonna be honest, but not a lot of there's a lot of countries who probably don't celebrate Christmas, or in a very least similar to how Canada and America celebrates it, but in the sense of it's a very big gift-giving month.
Oh, yeah.
So it's understandable that they probably would do a Christmas, or at the very least a December release, because that is a big gift-giving month.
Speaking of gift-giving months, or I guess I should say gift-giving day, because just a few days ago, with that THQ Nordic event that I was talking about earlier, we got a trailer for the next South Park game. And this one's taking a bit of a different approach to the rest of the games that were announced, because this one is going to be 3D, baby, and not like that 2.5D that the other two games were. It's literally Cartman is in 3 dimensions, and it looks awesome. I don't even know if it's like a team battle or if it's a battle royale, whatever. It just looks like a giant battle arena where you just go in with... It's a snow day, essentially. It is South Park Snow Day, and it is the most magical time in a young boy's life when you don't get to go to school and all the kids are not in school and they're just causing chaos. But it's definitely a departure from the RPG-esque world exploring game. It's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be a PvP type game.
Well, it's gonna be PvP.
I'm not excited for it.
Really?
I'm not
It's gonna
excited for it at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be PvP.
What aren't you excited about for?
One, a PvP South Park games, because their combat in their other game clunky at best, even with it being turn-based.
Well, yeah, but this is gonna be. I'd say this is gonna
I
be
don't
more
know.
along the lines of like an active RPG rather than a static RPG. If it even is an RPG, who knows? What this
I
kind
just-
of game is
I
gonna
don't-
be.
It is not an RPG.
It doesn't look like it.
This is what I've been hearing. It's gonna be like an older game, Party Crashers, shit like that.
That'd be cool. I mean, regardless of what type of game it is, it's going to be coming out in 2024, and I'm excited for it because change can often be scary, especially especially nowadays when we live in a world where we're on a perpetual treadmill of nostalgia. But I think it'll be a good deviation from the rest of the games that came out.
Or will it?
Well, only time can tell. But speaking of time and the endless approach of the fact that we're only going to ever have the popular IPs dominate media, Menace, I know you have been literally waiting a week to talk about this game, but tell us about what's happening.
I've been waiting years for this.
All right, so just tell us about Final Fantasy XIV and don't interrupt me.
No, your segues suck. But anyway.
Wow.
Final Fantasy XIV is finally coming to Xbox, baby! So for those of you that don't know, Final Fantasy XIV is the online MMO version, almost akin to WoW. It's a subscription service one, and there's actually been more news on it since last week when it was announced. But essentially, Final Fantasy XIV will have a 4K support on Xbox Series X, have faster loading, and there will also be an open beta. This is coming out early 25 when they launch one of their big updates, but during the update prior to it, they're going to have an open beta where you will be able to play the game all the way up through the DLC that came out this year, and all of your stuff will be like saved as you play through the game. So if you do decide to buy the game after the beta, all of your stuff that you've gained during that will come back to you. They are also, the new stuff that I just found out is not only will it be coming with the new DLC, but Square Enix has also announced that the game will be getting an entire graphic over all the way from character hair to gear, along with high-res textures for the environment and dungeons coming in this update when it goes on to Xbox.
Great,
They're
just
going
had
to do
Final Fantasy 16 suck up my life for like 3 weeks. Now I got another one about to take my life away.
Yep, and then
For years.
Destiny, my dude.
and then you know
You need a replacement.
in our year of 2030, we'll have Final Fantasy 25 to play. At the rate
No.
so
Final
excited
Fantasy 18.5 remix. Come on.
Remix, Redux,
18.5.
Dream Drop
Yep.
Distance, Shattered Memories, a chain of shattered memories, one would say.
Chain of Shattered Hearts.
Yeah, I don't
5 days and 41 nights.
I don't know if what I'm about to say is actually news or if it's cap, but I thought I heard, and I'm definitely going to have to take this out if it's cap, but I thought I heard that Final Fantasy was entering a partnership with Xbox to bring all their old games to the console. Is that...
They said that bringing Final Fantasy XIV is going to be the first step in a new relationship with Final Fantasy and Square Enix. They did talk about bringing some of the old games to Xbox, but not all of them.
I mean, I can understand that. If you want to have that kind of business legal partnership, it's better to go with what comes after that starting point rather than having to worry about the litigation and the paperwork that's going to come with trying to sort out how you're going to deal with the older games.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this game for years. I've played it a little bit on the PS5, and the fact that it's getting a graphical overhaul, because the combat's real fun. This is more of an MMO that's based for story than combat. You kind of have the two sides of the coin when it comes to MMOs.
I mean, grinding 0.0, dude. My ass. You gotta grind
this
your
one-
ass to get everything.
See, that's what you always think of with MMOs, but
Nah,
They're
this is
not
what I hear
always-
was fact about with this game, even from Sale.
okay, no. Well, the whole thing was, okay, so the game came out in 2010, and it was real grindy. Everyone hated it, and it actually shut down for 3 years, and it came back in 2013 with A Realm Reborn. And ever since then, it has been nothing but positive reviews for the game.
I've seen posts of this one person, someone that I graduated with, their older sibling. They post a lot of pictures of their character in Final Fantasy at 14, right? The MMO, whatever the heck. And I mean, it looks like they have a lot of fun with it. Looks like they've made some really amazing lifelong friends from this game, and the character, oh my god, beautiful pictures that they take, holy shit, and everything. It's definitely, I think they did probably like a photo shoot challenge where like every day they probably did something different with like a different theme or everything like that, and it was really cool. And I will admit, it has interested me slightly, especially I think when it was ported to PC. I thought about signing up for it, but as Subset said, I also tend to get turned away from MMOs. For me, it's a mixture of the grinding aspect does bore me after like an hour of doing it. And then also, I am the world's biggest weenie when it comes to interacting with strangers, and I don't like the idea of random people just jumping around me as I'm trying to just like zone and do my own thing. So I am very happy for you and like the people who have been wanting this ported onto Xbox and everything. It's just for me personally, I don't know if I would get into it just because of the fact I'm a weenie, but it does, like, I will admit, from the pictures I've seen, especially of these like photos I've seen of this person's pictures from Final Fantasy 14, it does look really amazing, and it does like look like you can do a lot of stuff. And you said it was like kind of more focused on like an RPG-esque like element versus like what most MMOs do.
Yeah. It's more focused on RPG, but not only that, what I'm more interested is it's essentially like a second life simulator in the world of Final Fantasy. You can go out and get a job. You can even open up your own tavern or open up a blacksmith shop.
I've heard of that, yeah. Because I think that's what this person does. Like, I think they do go out and do like the normal MMO stuff of like doing raids and all that shit. But I think they also do like, you know, have more of like a community life aspect, especially with the group that they play with. Again, I'm not too close with this person's older sibling and everything, so I don't really know what all they get up to, let alone I'm in their gaming circle. There's picked up from it. Yeah, it seems like they have kind of like a community sense.
There's big community events for the clans themselves. The game itself does clan events. There's clan wars. And instead of like just grinding, this is more of like a going into a dungeon kind of thing and going fighting through the dungeons and then going back out kind of deal. Not just going into the world and chopping down the same tree for 30 minutes.
RuneScape.
This is like you actually. Yeah.
What I'm curious is, and again, it's been out for a bit, and you said it even got like a whole overhaul and everything when it was re-released. It's just like I said, does it have that? And this is a terrible example to try and compare it against, but does it have that like feel that, God forbid, Elder Scrolls Online has?
Like, what do you mean, like the clunky kind of walking and stuff like that, or
kind of that like clunky, that like MMO clunkiness, and just like that overall MMO feel of, you know, you're special, but then you see like 50 other special people running around and just like doing. Oh no,
this
shit.
is
Some which are better.
the story doesn't really go like that, where you're like the chosen one. It's about the light bearers, the light bringers, light bearers, guardians of whatever they're called. Are all of the playable characters. You're not like one special. You're a part of a bigger group that has come together to help fend off the world against these dark forces.
Okay.
The Guardian.
Essentially, this is before that. But not only did they get a big overhaul in this, but they're also, you said that you like the pictures and stuff, but they're going to be graphically overhauling the entire game for next-gen consoles again when it comes out on the Xbox. So it's going to look even more beautiful.
I was going to say, yeah, because the pictures I've seen, which I'm pretty sure they play on a PS4 if I recall. So, and they looked really crisp and nice from just the pictures I've seen on their social media and such.
Yeah, so right now they're in update 6 right now, and then during update 6.5 is when they'll have the beta, and then it says in update 7 there's going to be a graphical overhaul to hair, gear, alongside shaders and high-res textures for the environment.
Oh, wow.
I am even more excited now knowing that, because I have played it, and the environment, at least on the I was playing it on the PS5, and it even then some of the graphics for the environment itself did look a little eh.
Yeah.
But the characters themselves always looked good.
I mean, I think that's something that Final Fantasy has always kind of done. I've only ever played like 1 or 2 of them, and not even into their full extent, where it looks like they go really ham on the character models. And then like the rest of it, like the environment looks like mid at best.
Yeah, and I will say that like with other MMOs, like I said before, you either have good story or you have good combat. This actually kind of blends it a little bit. Some of the fighting is more like basic. I could only kind of reference it to like MOBA, where you're clicking to kind of like auto attack and stuff like that. But there are cool moves that you can do with cool animations, and you're not really set to one class, because it kind of depends on what gear you build into more than it does like you. Yeah,
I noticed that, because like I said with this photo shoot thing, they had like different classes, and so I guess I thought when you mentioning that makes more sense as to why like the one photo was like, I think their support build, and then like the next one was like a tank build or something, and then like a DPS build, and I'm like, I didn't do much of it. I was like, pretty pictures, but you mentioning that makes a lot more sense as to why they use the same character, and they're like, this is the support one, this is the tank one, and everything. So
you're not stuck having to be like, oh, I spent 2 hours making this character and buying the clothes for this character at this person's shop down the street. Now I gotta go and get a whole new make a whole new character just to play this different class. Nah, all you gotta do is change up your stats a little bit and put on some different armor and you're good to go.
Oh, so like FromSoft games.
Yeah, kinda.
And I'm not gonna like
I
it.
think that wraps up a lot of what we were talking about today. Today was a huge news day. Holy.
You're a news day.
I am a news day. I am the news man.
2.5 hours.
Don't
Oh,
even
no,
get me
almost
started.
3 hours.
Don't
Let's
even get
go.
me started, dude. We remember. All I know is we had 8 minutes of a beginning, so it's 2.5 hours like of genuine audio. So that's gonna be great to edit through. But I want to say that I am absolutely thrilled to finally have the whole team together with Menace,
It was always a good time.
Gemini,
Fun times as always.
Blaze.
Damn it, Gemini, you said the exact same thing I was gonna say. It was fun.
Last but not least, Subset.
Subset.
Yep, he's now Pokemon.
Well, anyway, continue with the outro.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Robert.
everybody, I want to implore everyone to take a look into all the topics we talked about today. I want to implore everyone else to take a look at all the other podcasts that CJSW has to offer. And once again, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone to join me. And we will see you guys in the next episode, provided I don't mess up the recording process and ruin a week's worth of effort from the whole team.
God, you better not.
I will
Again,
hope.
I swear, Robbie.
Right? Oh, that'd be awful. But yeah.
Also, I haven't said it this episode, Future Bobber, you're a bitch.
Wow. You know what?
Isn't Bobber you're also a bitch?
I'm gonna keep this recording
You're also a
going.
bitch.
Wow, dude.
Mic implanting your so you just hook yourself up to any electronic devices.
I'm so glad that I started the actual recording, like the official recording. All right, I'm like as it stands right now, I'm about as close as I can get right now to having this be as even as I can without you know. All right.
Teammates are stupid.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time to kind of just shoot shit before we start recording. I can do.
Didn't you already start recording?
Well, I did start recording. The recording is right now. It's already been started.
Yeah. Then why? Confused.
Well, we'll remember. There's like for every episode, there's always going to be a little bit of time right before the episode fully gets started for us to get our feeling out process, us to have our last minute checks of topics.
This already.
Yeah, this is your first time here, Angel. You've literally never been a part of this.
Yeah, but I was here on a couple episodes.
No, you weren't. You were in the YouTube version.
No. He was here. That's not what he said, Bobber. He said he was here. He just wasn't in the episode. If you would let him finish speaking.
Yeah, my bad.
He was here. He was
has-
in the Discord.
he
He
has
just
been
was
here.
listening.
But this is his first like official within the episode.
No shit, Bobber. I thought this was his third one.
What? He's been doing this that long? Damn.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I've just been in the background. All right, I've just been in the
Been in the
code.
back room.
He's been, dude, I was going to say that.
He's been in the closet.
Damn.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Angel.
In the
At least I can
closet.
reach the top shelf.
Oh! Gotcha there, Trin. Get it? Because you're short.
Want me to get your stepping stool?
Oh! Oh! Come on, Trin, stand up for yourself. I know it's not going to be much of a height
There's one
increase,
here.
but come on.
Let me get down to your level. How about that? Let me take a knee.
You, I'll shank your kneecaps, bitch.
See, actually, no. To get on Trin's level, you're gonna need like a magnifying glass up against the ant colony.
I love being the tallest one here. No one
Okay.
can ever do short jokes towards me.
You're still
but I
short,
can make
bitch.
How's the weather up there?
Clearly
Face?
tall.
Actually, no. Trin, make sure that.
I hope you always bruise your forehead when you walk through a door frame, Blaze.
Jesus. Trin, what,
He's exactly 6 foot. He's fine.
Trin, remember how much
I hope
power
the
you
oxygen-
hold.
I hope the oxygen is so light up there that you pass out.
Oh my god.
Oh.
But yeah, Trin, remember how much power you hold. All you have to do is make his character slightly shorter than the rest of us.
I'm a mouse. The fuck?
Yeah, how you gonna do that against Subset?
He's gonna be a humanoid-sized mouse. It's gonna be a hyper-realistic
He's
mouse.
on the
Being
bar.
the
What do you
gun.
mean?
No, I
He's
still like
on
the
the
idea.
bar.
I like the idea of the humanoid is like has a mouse mask, and then there's a little mouse on his shoulder that is his voice.
Yeah,
That's the idea.
That's fair.
I like that. I like that idea. I'm totally gonna not pack a bowl real quick before we actually get started.